the cricket report in the school assembly each week, and absolutely petrified, and the school principal ridiculing me in front of the whole school about my poor speaking skills and making fun of me, and the classic was not having confidence around girls, and talking with girls, and and that continued into up until my mid-20s. And actually not actually ever getting into a proper, long-term relationship until I was 29. And I had huge problems. And it wasn't until I went traveling, I left home when I was 20 to go travel, and I ended up traveling on and off for 4 years. I was based in London, and my goal was actually to sort of find situations that actually forced me to, confront this lack of confidence, and I don't know, and get myself out there, and and learn and make mistakes, and learn from them, and through that, a bit more confidence. And and I certainly found that, somehow I always ended up being in the middle of nowhere and having no money and having to figure out what to do next, and continue my trips. I found myself in Luxor in Egypt, and I realized I'd just done a little trip on a boat down the Nile for 3 days, and I got back to the hotel, and I realized all my money was missing. And I, to this day, I don't know what happened to it, but basically I had 20 quid to get back to Tel Aviv, and which was impossible. And but somehow I actually managed to get back to Tel Aviv. And I remember the moment was basically I just had to sort of back myself and trust that I could do it, and start taking steps to get back to Tel Aviv. And somehow I got back. I bumped into people that I'd been traveling with previously that helped me out. I just found the right thing at the right time. So a ride here, or a hotel floor. Someone sort of gave me a hotel floor to crash on for the night back in Cairo. And through that, and I got back to Tel Aviv, and I just, I ended up staying in Tel Aviv for another 2 months after that. And I think going through situations like that where you make mistakes and you figure it out, that gave me the self-belief that I could take on anything, and not sort of panic, and not go into these mental sort of things that we put ourselves through that we're not good enough, or that we're because we don't know how to do a certain thing, we're idiots, or all these sort of beliefs that we have about ourselves that I think actually affect our confidence. And it's what. And this is the thing of a lot of. I think that we give ourselves a really hard time about. It comes down to what we think about ourselves, and these beliefs that we have that stop us from having our. I think naturally we're all confident people. It's just a lot of the time what we think gets in the way of allowing ourselves just to be confident.
Yeah, definitely go along with that. That's one of the things that comes up time and time again. We're not born lacking in confidence. We're kind of quite the opposite. we kind of have the confidence beaten out of us, and we're taught not to be.
Totally.
There's been quite. Yeah, I see there's been quite a few experiences through your life which could have kind of gone one way or the other depending on your confidence. Would you say was there a particular defining moment in your life where you were able to go, you know what, I am confident, I have confidence in myself? Was there a defining moment, or is it just kind of evolved over time?
Certainly that experience in Egypt definitely was a defining moment, but it's definitely something that it evolves, and evolves even today. Like, because there's always new situations that come up and that I have no idea how to actually handle, and I just have to deal with it. But definitely having that sort of confidence in terms of, I've been in situations before that I've gotten through it. I know I can get through this somehow. So it's always evolving, and but in terms of belief systems and the thinking that I kind of go through. I mean, a lot of what the reason why I find meditation and mindfulness so effective is it's kind of a shortcut to get through all these, what's going on in our mind. If you can get into a place where your mind is quiet, then those thoughts that are detracting your confidence, they disappear, and you can actually just do what it is you need to do. Definitely in the mental health sector. So I as a life coach, I was working with people that had schizophrenia. I was working with people that had depression, people that had drug addiction, people that come from being homeless. Incredibly, some of them very chaotic individuals, and find myself in situations where, you can't, sometimes, if they're going through a relapse, you can't reason with people like that.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to somehow manage the situation and make the calls. But, this is the thing, you don't have a choice sometimes. You have to be present, and you have to figure it out, and do the best you can. And what I learned from that, because I made many, many mistakes in dealing with people in the mental health sector, what really helped me was actually just being okay with making mistakes in my life, and just allow myself to learn from them, and giving myself permission to make mistakes was really liberating for me. Not trying to get it right there and then, and just try and do something. In terms of me sort of working with with women, actually, my conference with women, that actually really liberated me actually a lot, because I was always about trying to say the right thing, and the goal was always to get them into bed at some point. And if I said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing, I wouldn't get that. But actually, just giving myself permission to make mistakes and have fun totally made it a really enjoyable experience. And then that's when I started having a lot more confidence with women, and women responding to my personality and flirting and that kind of thing. So,
yeah. Cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I totally relate to a lot of what you were talking about with confidence there, and I know our listener will certainly relate, because it's a topic and a view on it which comes up so many times. So it's interesting. It's always interesting to hear someone else kind of sharing that same kind of approach and same sort of experiences. Sure. So it kind of helps us all to realize that, okay, maybe there is something to all of this. Now, I wanted to talk a bit about the sorts of meditation and so on that you do. So I've got a few bits and pieces to explore here. Just before we dive in, I just wanted to remind our listeners that you're listening to the Confidence Alchemist radio show with the Confidence Alchemist. That's me, Keith Blakemore Noble, and my guest today is the meditation-based life coach, Scott Murden, who is joining us temporarily from London before he heads back out to beautiful sunny Goa in India to continue his practice out there. And if you've got any comments that you wanted to share, comments, thoughts, observations, questions, best way to do that is pop along to the website, theconfidencealchemist.com/radio show. Find the Meditative Confidence episode on there. You may well be there already. That's a great way to be listening to this live. And just pop in your comments down at the bottom of that page. Pop in any comments or questions you have, any that crop up. I'll be more than happy to pass them on to Scott. And in the meantime, so we talked a bit about your confidence. We talked a bit about what you do, Scott. I want to explore a little bit more about the kind of the meditation that you do. I know you specialize in using a meditation called third eye-based meditation, which I want to take a look at in a moment.
Yeah.
And where I'm coming from with this is how do you use these meditations and the self-awareness that comes from it? How do you use that to reduce anxiety and fear? And what is third eye-based meditation?
Yeah. Yeah, nice one. So let me describe what it is first. So third eye-based meditation is basically working with the third eye that's found in the forehead. But what does that mean? What it means is like you sort of work with the qualities that are there. So like in meditation generally, a lot of meditations are like based on the breath and just focusing your attention on the breath. Or it's about focusing on a device like staring at a candle flame, for example. Or it's about using a mantra. And those things get you into awareness. So they get you out of the normal, ordinary mind where there's a lot of chatter and thoughts floating around, and into silence, into this sense of stillness. And that's what awareness is.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting about the third eye approach that was taught to me through Declare Vision School is it's a bit more involved than just using the breath. So, we start with the breath, and then through the breath, we use that to activate like a sense of like vibration in the forehead. So if you were to sort of, as you're sitting and you have your normal breath, and it's like you're just drawing the breath up into the area of the forehead. And then what you generally notice as you do that is there's this vibration there. There's like a tingling, or there's like a sort of sense of gentle pressure. And when you feel that vibration, it somehow that takes you a little bit deeper into the meditation state. It's like an added step to it. And what we find with it, it actually it seems to activate a sense of your energetic body. Something wakes up in your body. You're not just in your thoughts anymore. You're in awareness, but you're actually connected to your body in a way that feels really different and alive.
Interesting.
And then the other sort of thing that comes with that is you start to see, if you have your eyes closed, then behind that darkness that you're looking into with your eyes closed, you can start to notice that there's particles of light or color kind of floating around in there. And if you focus on that and you connect it with the breath and the vibration that you're feeling, it starts to evolve. It starts to something emerges out of that, and you sort of get these patches of color, you get these patches of light, and you start to go into this experience of what the actual third eye is, and it becomes this actual experience. It's not this idea of this this spot in our forehead that everyone goes on about, and it's the experience. So those 3 steps that actually take you very quickly into this state of awareness that I'm talking about, and the reason why we do meditation is to get into that place. So it just becomes this very in-depth process to get you into that space really quickly. And that was my I did a weekend retreat with it, and I'd done a lot of meditation before that, and with some really great traditions, but it always had been a real struggle to get into that state of silence and awareness. And I just found with this practice, I just got into that place straight away, a lot more quickly. And there was a great technique that I could go back to every time to get to that place. It wasn't kind of an accidental process that I'd suddenly ended up in this awareness. It was a very clear, defined technique. So, and